We're not talking about this or this. We're talking about...
The Japanese call him Goki. The English-speaking world calls him Akuma, ogre, demon. I call him Akuma, the coolest fucking hidden character in fighting games. Akuma makes you feel like the ultimate badass when you play as him, when you fight against him, when you pick him on the character select screen, when you lift up that fucking leg and you teleport right out of the corner. Fuck your pressure, you ain't getting any mix-ups on me. Akuma's been awesome since it all started. And we know where it all started. Super Turbo, baby! Akuma's first appearance was in Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, and you could only get the fight with him if you either beat the full arcade ladder without using any continues, or if you got to the final fight in under 25 minutes. Under 25 minutes doesn't sound like a lot when you think about how long a fighting game round takes, but trust me, when you were playing these old arcade machines, or when you were playing ports of the old arcade machines, this meant something. You start playing one of these old Capcom arcade fighters, and everything is fine in the first round. Computer, brain-dead idiot. You, ascended being. Then, you move on to round 2, and you feel your brain get even bigger, because now, you got the combo counter to show up. You did hit special, and all of it connected because the computer wasn't hit stun the whole time. You are a veritable god at this game. And then, round 3. And suddenly, roles are reversed. You're brain dead. Computer's amazing. Computer's brilliant. Computer's a literal god of gods, never to be touched by anyone because it will invincible uppercut everything you do. It will input read every single thing you are attempting to put in, and you will never land a fucking hit. Suddenly, there's no point. Why am I even playing this game? All it's doing is trying to eat my quarters, but I don't have any quarters. I bought this game. I own the full game, but it's still just trying to eat my quarters because they just took that dumb arcade machine and put it in this. And you think, oh my god, this is going to take hours because it must just get harder from here, right? When the truth is no, it doesn't fucking get harder. This place right here, round 3, that's what was designed to eat your quarters. That was what was designed to have you go back to your parents over and over and say, please, just a couple more dollars for the machine. But now you don't have to go to your parents. You can just keep banging your head against the wall of this round until you finally get onto it. And jeez, I need a drink. But if you did deal with all of that bullshit and you managed to get him to show up, you were treated to this. Look at this. I mean, look at this. This character has his portrait blacked out in the upper corner, even though you can plainly see his face in the animation, because he needs to be mysterious. And he takes out the final boss, the regular final boss, M. Bison, in an attack that is so fast that you can't see what it is. You are so low on the scale of fighting compared to this murderous god that you cannot even comprehend his ultimate attack. And then when you take the step back and see him in all his glory, he's like the hero Ryu, except he is better in every conceivable way. You got a DP? Mine's faster. You got a Tatsu? Mine's better. Oh, you throw fireballs? That's cute, Ryu. How about you come talk to me when you can throw them from the air? 2 at a time. One-handed. Satsui no Hado. More like Satsui no fucking problem. You know what makes a hidden character cool? How you pick him. This is really important for this type of thing. Because you needed to be the cool kid who knew how to do this. Whether that's in the arcade or on your own console with only you as the audience. Now when you wanted to play as Akuma in Super Turbo, you had to highlight Ryu, press start, and then hit all 3 punch buttons. That's no slouch. That's a cool little secret. But that's not the coolest way to select him. Not by a long shot. So, full disclosure, I never got to really play Super Turbo as a kid. So a lot of the experience with Akuma in that game has come a lot later. No. My first experience of selecting Akuma was in Street Fighter 3 Second Impact, not Third Strike. Second Impact. Selecting him went something like this. You had to go to Ryu, press down, down, up. Go to Ken, press up, up, down. Go to Ryu, press up. Go to Ken, press down. Then you go to Sean. Right in the middle of the roster, you press down, down, up, up, up.
That feels good. That's what cool is. By this point, everyone knows Akuma's there, but you still need to be the person that knows how to get off of that line of triangles and find the soul of the demon. Alright, here's another piece of Akuma that makes him so cool. Akuma's no regular villain. He's not someone with plans to conquer the world like M. Bison is. He's not someone who even has a specific grudge against a single person, or even someone who is just a murderer. Akuma is someone who wants power and wants to use it to fight the strongest out there. At one point, Akuma challenges his own master to a fight to the death and uses the Satsui no Hado to kill him. But Akuma keeps his master's prayer beads as a sign of respect. That's important, because if this was a mad killer, he would have broken those prayer beads. Akuma may be someone who gave into the evil force of the Satsui no Hado to gain the ultimate fighting power, but he still holds his honor as a fighter, because that's what's important. He is strong. And the cool thing is Capcom get to have their cake and Meisatsu with it too, because in an alternate timeline, Akuma becomes Oni, the full-on great ogre. One of the reasons Akuma is such a cool character is that we get to see what happens if he gives into his evil completely. Oni is him in another timeline completely giving in to the Satsui no Hado. And honestly, it's surprising how much honor Akuma has to lose for someone who's a crazy demon murderer obsessed with strength. And it comes down to Oni's intro scene in Street Fighter 4. Take a look.
I shall grind beneath my heel all that exists.
Did you see it? He destroys the prayer beads. That was the last shred of Akuma's humanity. We don't want him to go that far, but we like getting to see it. Honestly, Akuma, keep the prayer beads on, sir. We've already talked about the basics, but to understand what a godlike demon Akuma is, you have to dive into his whole moveset. I've already talked about his fireballs and how all of his regular Shoto moves are just better version of Ryu's, but there is so much more here. Akuma has a boss-ass teleport, looks a little ugly in the EX games, but we're not talking about that. This shit is invincible, comes across the screen, gets you out of pressure, and most of all, looks sick. We've got a dive kick to get him back safe on the ground. He's got the demon flip, which has 4 options out of it. You got a grab, you got a dive kick, you got a low kick, and you got a fist. And of course, we have that most glorious piece of movement known as the demon roll.
Rollin', 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 rollin',
But Akuma's best move, the coolest thing Akuma has, is the first thing he showed up and used in Super Turbo. The Raging Demon. Before we even get into how cool this move is when it's actually done, we need to look at the inputs for it. These are those inputs. Yep, light punch, forward, light kick, heavy punch. This is the stuff that people who don't know how to play fighting games think all fighting game combos are. This is what people imagine, and that's one of the things that is so cool about the Raging Demon, is that it feels like a cheat code. It doesn't feel like a regular move. It's not quarter circle forward, 2 buttons, or 1 button. It's not quarter circle forward, 2 buttons. It's not even like a 360 or a 720. No, this is tap, tap, forward, tap, tap. The sound that it makes, the way you input it, all of it is perfect. And it makes you feel just like when you knew how to select this secret character, like you knew how to do this truly devastating secret move. The Raging Demon.
Akuma, play us out.
What you say? That you only meant well, 'cause you did. What you say? What you say? That you only meant well. What you say? That that you, what you say, what you say, what you say, what you say.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, tell somebody about it. And remember to subscribe, because I'll have another video up next week, though it'll be about something a little different than Akuma and fighting games. See you next time.